So, part two in our discussion of the Hasbro Pulse fan stream that we have today, we're going to be diving into the Legacy Evolution stuff. I think we're going to have one more part after this because there's still so much we have to talk about here today. Some of these we've already kind of covered extensively and went through the history and explaining what these are. So, I will mention to check out those segments so I don't feel like I'm just repeating myself. I will cover any kind of new information that we get here today. Like the first one we're going to cover essentially. So we have like the Transformers Legacy Evolution Shadow Striker. We did a segment. We really broke down what that character is, the origin, the designs, what we'll potentially be getting in the future. Amazingly, Mark, who worked on this, didn't even really want to talk too much about that kind of stuff. They were kind of touch and go with some information in relation to the tooling of some of these characters and what potentially will be in the future. So go check out the segments that I did about those ones with specific characters that we're going to talk about today, because I feel that a lot of that stuff was kind of, they had a lot they had to reveal. To be honest, I understand their situation. They had a lot of stuff they had to go through, so they were kind of rapid firing through them. But so Shadow Striker, something that Mark worked on along with Tomo-san and Hasui. Tomo-san originally started working on, then Hasui-san finished it with Mark. And that's all we really know in terms of new information about it. Go check out my segment that we talked about it, and we'll go deep into it. We had a lot of extensive photos from that one that show all the little pieces and parts and the homages and what's going on with the weapons. So go check that one out. The next one we have here is the Deluxe Class Legacy Evolution Bombshell. And kind of the same story. We did an extensive breakdown of what's going on with that mold. I am surprised that Mark didn't even really talk about the partial and what's going on with it. What I did like is seeing how both Mark and Evan were not happy about the choice of colors, how the Insecticons, specifically Bombshell, when he's in his bug mode, he has a purple, and when he transforms, that purple is now gray on his body, and you just can't do that, and it's impossible. And he made a mention that maybe at some point in the future, we will get a Bombshell that'll be done with the gray color scheme. That way you could have the best of both worlds. And then I guess you'll have to have a Bombshell in alt mode and another Bombshell in robot mode to get that perfect fluoro-deary color accuracy. That was a Mark and Koku-san design. And yeah, really get along with Shu-san. He also had a little bit to do with that one too. And again, check out the individual segment. We make sense of what's going on with the tooling there, how it comes from a partial of the other Insecticons and everything, and just what's going on with design and the future that we could be getting with it in terms of deluxe Insecticons. So they kind of had to breeze through that one quickly. Here's the one that I was looking forward to. This was one of those items that we didn't get leaked online, and we actually got to see for the first time in the live stream here. This was a very exciting one for me. I was kind of hoping that it would be a brand new tooling, but how this turned out, I'm still pretty happy with it. Let's talk about Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Strongarm from the Robots in the Skies 2015 series. A extensive partial and retool, a reshell as Mark refers to it as, of the Legacy Alita Deluxe Class we got, which later on was used for Minerva. And in all honesty, if he didn't mention it, I wouldn't have noticed unless I really extensively looked at it afterwards. And it looks fantastic. They did a very, very, very good job at making the best they can. Maybe it could have been a little thicker, in my opinion. Maybe they could have made her a little thicker to match the animation model of the original one. But otherwise, they did a pretty darn good job. That was a Mark and Koku-san design together. They did a really good job with that. Brand new head sculpt that Mark claims he fought with the engineers and the designers to make that head sculpt as nice as it is, and a huge amount of paint put on that figure too to really make it look nice. The gun is a brand new tooling that matches the one that she had in the 2015 Robots in the Sky show, so that's really cool too. I think she looks fantastic. I think she looks great. Super excited about that one. Even though I was kind of hoping for brand new tooling, they did something really good here also, and I'm very happy with that. One of the guys that I worked with at BotCon many years ago, Jesse, who's a mastermind of repaints and retools, he totally sees this as also as a way for them to kind of get Firestar, aka Flare Up, into the mix of future fembots and stuff. So I totally see what he's talking about there. So I think that that's also Strongarm's kind of use, as it could be a Trojan horse into completing all of those female Autobots from 1985. So pretty cool. Dig it. I like what I see. Definitely want to pick that one up. That's a really cool one. Then we got Detritus, again, another one that we didn't see, wasn't leaked out, but we pretty much had a good idea of what we were going to be getting, except we just didn't know it wasn't going to be the Siege mold, wasn't going to be the Earth mode Hound that we still haven't gotten publicly yet. And I think in the first time in a long while, we've gotten a case where a mold that was clearly supposed to be the main mold for it, the repaint comes first, and we get Detritus here using that Earth mode Hound mold that we still don't have a story on yet. And that's pretty crazy. Mark and Evan worked on this one together. They kind of envision him as a arms dealer working on both sides of the war. That's why he has an Autobot emblem on his left shoulder, but he also has a Decepticon emblem on his hood of his car and also on the back of his head. So I guess depending on which alt mode he has also determines who he's working for. But still pretty cool one. Again, it's the first time we're going to be getting this mold because the Hound one that we've seen online still doesn't have a home yet. The rumor has been Buzzworthy Bumblebee for that Hound, but we don't know yet. So the first time you'll be messing with an Earth mode Jeep will be, of course, with Detritus here. So pretty hype stuff. And again, you know, there's a whole story with him with eHobby and everything. And I think I did a segment with him too. That one I can't think of offhand recently for you guys to go dig for, but pretty cool one too. Then they quickly talked about Core Class. They finally showed off Snarl. We talked about Snarl over the past couple of days, so it's not a big one, big surprise for us. But the nice thing that they mentioned was that Snarl is going to be shipping in a Core Class case along with Slug, Slag, and Sludge. So if you missed some of your Dinobots throughout the journey, and Sludge and Slug, aka Slag, were two of the first ones, you'll be able to get those guys. So that's really cool that they're keeping some of the older ones in circulation, so that if you're late to the Dinobot Core Class Volcanicus game, now you can pick those ones up. So that's pretty cool that that's also shipping with that. Again, they showed us nice photos of Volcanicus combined. Evan still is missing his full color Grimlock, so we don't have a perfect Volcanicus photo shoot. I'm sure over the next couple days, Evan and Mark, and maybe even Sam Smith on their Instagrams are going to take beautiful photos of everything we saw today, as well as behind the scenes stuff too. So definitely check that out. Then we got the Voyager classes. We got a Legacy Evolution Voyager Class Bludgeon. We talked about this one quite extensively a month ago when we first saw the leaked prototypes and everything. So go check out that segment where I explain what's going on with the history, the design, the Alex Milne design. It's a new head sculpt along with a new sword on that Tarn mold. That's a Yuya-san design along with Mark. Looks like it came right out of the pages of the IDW comics. I think it looks fantastic. The Tarn mold to begin with is a fantastic mold, so anything you do with it is all the better for it. Again, go check out that segment. I explain what is the animation model and all the connections there, and just why you should be excited about this one. It's pretty cool. Then we got Trashmaster. So this was one we were waiting for. We wanted to really see. Again, we had those images online that leaked, but they were early test shots, so the colors weren't accurate, and we didn't know where this was going. And now we have Trashmaster, our Voyager class modulator Junkion. Mark named him. He said he got to work with the copy people and name this character, so that's pretty awesome. That was a Mark and Ajima-san design together. Ajima-san supposedly really made some really awesome stuff in the past when it came to Legacy, and this was one that he really worked hard on. Mark mentions that there's a hidden combiner Easter egg involved with this one, similar to that of Wingfinger when we had the fossilizer. So he's going to kind of be the centerpiece for whatever combiner team that you'll make, and there's a hidden combiner element to it. So stay tuned for that. I'm pretty sure Mark's going to probably reveal it on his Instagram or something. So maybe even a brand new head. Maybe there's another head on top of that one for a giant robo dino head or a garbage head or something. Who knows? That head sculpt is very Bulkhead meets Lockdown. Again, the garbage compactor kind of robot. I think he looks cool. I'm really curious what they're going to do with it after the fact, because there's that whole Wreck-Gar rumor from Animated and stuff like that. So there's so much to cover with that one. when we learn more about it. But again, stay tuned on Mark's Instagram. I get a feeling we're going to learn more about this one, but very exciting. And then the last one we'll cover is the Leader Class Dreadwing. Again, 2 weeks ago, we went through this one extensively. We had a crazy photo shoot with tons of photos showing all the different angles, the weapons that are different with this than from the Skyquake version. This is a Mark and Yuki-san design. So go check out that segment because we, again, full history. I don't want to repeat myself so many times with this, but there's so many little pieces and parts with some of this stuff that we've already covered, which it's unfortunate because a lot of this stuff was leaked out, and thus we did those segments weeks ago. But at least it gives you an opportunity to go back and check those out, and I'll explain everything there. But a lot of really cool stuff here. Really excited about that. About the Strongarm especially. The Detritus is really cool because that's an e-hobby toy originally that's pretty expensive today. There's a lot of really cool stuff here. We still have one more segment to cover. It's mostly related to the buzzworthy stuff as well as some other cool items here and there that I'm really excited to discuss. And that'll be that for today. So stay tuned for the very last segment, and then you're free of me for the rest of the day. Go check out those other segments I mentioned too. You could get the history lesson on some of those guys. So we'll talk again in the very near future.